How to Handle Disrespect with Stoic Wisdom, 10 Powerful Principles, Part 1. Introduction. Have you ever faced a situation where someone disrespected you, and you couldn't shake off the feeling? Whether it's at work, in relationships, or even with strangers. Disrespect can be hard to deal with. But what if there was a way to handle it with grace, wisdom, and strength? In this video, we'll dive into Stoic philosophy, a way of thinking that's over 2,000 years old yet offers powerful tools to cope with modern-day challenges. Stay with me as we explore 10 practical Stoic principles that will not only help you manage disrespect but also strengthen your emotional resilience and inner peace. Let's get started. Part 2. Context and background. Stoicism is an ancient Greek philosophy founded in Athens by Zeno of Citium around 300 BCE. It teaches us how to maintain a calm, rational mind in the face of life's challenges, emphasizing virtues like wisdom, courage, and self-control. Great Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca shared powerful insights on how to deal with adversity, including disrespect. Their teachings show us that it's not the event itself that disturbs us, but our reaction to it. By mastering our emotions and responses, we can rise above the pain of disrespect and live with dignity. Now, let's dive into how these Stoic teachings apply to real-life situations. Part 3. Practical application. 10 Stoic principles. Keep your calm, the power of emotional control when someone disrespects you. It's easy to let your emotions take over. Anger, frustration, and hurt often bubble up, pushing us to react impulsively. However, Stoicism offers a different approach, one rooted in maintaining control over our emotional state, regardless of external circumstances. Epictetus, a key Stoic philosopher, said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This principle highlights the Stoic belief that we cannot control the actions of others, but we can always control our own responses. Why remaining calm is powerful. Maintaining calm in the face of disrespect is an act of self-mastery. The Stoics believed that our emotions, if unchecked, could lead to irrational actions and make us slaves to external events. If we let someone else's negative behavior dictate how we feel and act, we surrender our power to them. In contrast, staying calm allows us to reclaim that power. When you choose not to react emotionally, you retain control over the situation, showing strength and emotional resilience. The disrespect, in this case, loses its grip on your mental and emotional state. Calmness also opens the door to clearer thinking. In the heat of the moment, emotional responses often cloud judgment and lead to regret. When you pause and choose calmness, you create space to assess the situation with a rational mind. This pause is crucial in Stoicism, as it aligns with the belief in responding based on reason rather than impulse. How to practice calmness in real-time. Pause before reacting. When you feel disrespected, take a moment to pause. This brief pause helps you distance yourself from the initial emotional reaction. During this time, focus on your breath and remind yourself that you are in control of how you respond. This pause is the cornerstone of emotional control. Reframe the situation. Instead of viewing disrespect as an attack on your worth, consider it as a reflection of the other person's state of mind. By doing this, you detach from taking things personally. This shift in perspective is a powerful Stoic tool, helping you see the bigger picture and maintain your inner peace. Stay mindful of your goal when disrespected. Your goal is not to win the argument or get back at the other person. Instead, your goal is to remain composed and act in accordance with your values. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic emperor, emphasized this in his meditations. reminding us to stay aligned with our principles no matter the external provocations. By focusing on your higher goal, emotional mastery, you prevent minor incidents from disturbing your inner tranquility. Recognize the bigger picture, in the grand scheme of life. Most instances of disrespect are minor and temporary. Stoics encourage us to zoom out and see things from a broader perspective. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Keeping this in mind helps you maintain calm by not allowing momentary offenses to throw you off balance. The benefits of keeping your calm. Practicing calmness, particularly in challenging situations, leads to long-term benefits. It enhances your emotional resilience, allowing you to handle future confrontations with more grace and wisdom. Moreover, calmness fosters better relationships, as others are more likely to respect someone who remains composed under pressure. Finally, keeping your calm improves your mental well-being, as you no longer allow external events to dictate your internal peace. In conclusion, the Stoic principle of staying calm is about choosing how you respond to life's challenges. When you master this skill, you not only handle disrespect with dignity but also cultivate inner strength that shields you from being controlled by external events. The next time you face disrespect, remember Epictetus's words and keep your calm. Your true power lies in how you react. Point 2. Reflect on yourself, a path to growth. When confronted with disrespect, it's natural to feel defensive or hurt. However, Stoicism encourages a different response, one of self-reflection and inward focus. As Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This Stoic principle emphasizes that our peace of mind is influenced not by external events, such as disrespect, but by how we choose to think about them instead of reacting impulsively. Stoicism advises taking a step back and reflecting on ourselves. This process allows us to assess whether there's any truth in the criticism we've faced. If we discover something useful in the feedback, we can treat it as a lesson for self-improvement. If not, we can choose to release it. Understanding that it does not affect our true worth. Self-reflection is a powerful tool for maintaining emotional control. By pausing to evaluate our role in a situation, we ensure that our responses are grounded in reason rather than driven by temporary emotions. As the Stoic philosophers taught, our goal should be to live in harmony with our virtues and values, not to seek approval or validation from others. Furthermore, self-reflection enables us to approach disrespect from a place of strength and growth. Instead of allowing the situation to overwhelm us, it becomes an opportunity for introspection, where we can focus on improving our behavior and mindset. This Stoic approach helps us to rise above emotional impulses, maintain our composure, and live with integrity. In essence, practicing self-reflection when dealing with disrespect fosters inner resilience. It teaches us to examine ourselves honestly, take valuable lessons when available, and let go of negativity that doesn't serve our personal growth or happiness. Point 3. Learn to pause. In the Stoic tradition, mastering emotional control is one of the highest forms of wisdom. When we are disrespected, our initial response is often driven by anger, frustration, or hurt. Seneca, one of the most renowned Stoic philosophers, reminds us that, whenever you are angry, be assured that it is not only a present evil, but you have increased a habit. This quote highlights that anger is not only harmful in the moment but also becomes a repeated pattern of behavior if left unchecked. Pausing in moments of emotional intensity is a key practice in Stoicism. When faced with disrespect, instead of reacting impulsively, Stoicism encourages us to take a moment to breathe and reflect before responding. This pause allows us to regain control over our emotions, preventing us from making rash decisions that we may later regret. The importance of pausing. Anger, In the Stoic view, clouds are judgment. It distorts reality and leads us to perceive the situation through a biased lens. Seneca believed that acting out of anger doesn't just harm others. It also harms ourselves. The damage is not only in the immediate emotional turmoil but in the long-term development of habits that make us more reactive, less rational, and more prone to emotional instability. By learning to pause, we break this cycle. When you feel the sting of disrespect, your immediate reaction may be to defend yourself, retaliate, or express frustration. However, Stoicism teaches that these reactions often lead to more harm than good. Pausing allows you to reflect on whether the situation truly warrants a reaction and, if so, how best to respond in alignment with your values and long-term well-being. How to practice the pause. Take a breath, in moments of disrespect or anger. The simple act of taking a deep breath can immediately calm your nervous system and give you a moment to think clearly. This momentary pause can prevent you from saying or doing something impulsive. Ask yourself, is this worth reacting to? Marcus Aurelius, another prominent Stoic, would often remind himself to distinguish between what is important and what is trivial. Many moments of disrespect, when looked at from a broader perspective, are not worth our emotional energy. By asking yourself whether the disrespect is worth reacting to, you gain clarity. Reflect on your values before reacting. Take a moment to reflect on your personal values. Is your response aligned with the person you want to be? Stoicism encourages us to act in accordance with our virtues, such as patience, wisdom, and self-control, rather than giving in to emotional impulses. Benefits of pausing. By mastering the practice of pausing, you build emotional resilience. Pausing reduces the chances of escalating conflict, helps you make more thoughtful decisions, and ultimately protects your inner peace. It's a skill that requires practice, but with time, it becomes a powerful tool for navigating disrespect and other challenges with grace and wisdom. In summary, learning to pause is an essential Stoic principle that not only prevents emotional outbursts but also fosters long-term personal growth. It's through the pause that we can respond to life's challenges from a place of strength, rather than reacting impulsively. 4. Practice empathy. One of the core tenets of Stoicism is the ability to detach from taking things personally, especially when faced with disrespect or challenging behavior. Epictetus, a prominent Stoic philosopher, advises us to seek understanding rather than reacting emotionally to the actions of others. This involves practicing empathy, recognizing that others often act out of their own insecurities, fears, or personal struggles. When someone disrespects or mistreats you, it's natural to feel hurt or defensive. However, Stoicism teaches that we should not allow others' behavior to dictate our emotions. By practicing empathy, we can gain a broader perspective. Instead of immediately taking offense, we can step back and consider that the person's actions may be a reflection of their internal struggles rather than a direct attack on us. Empathy as a tool for detachment. Empathy helps you detach from emotional reactions by shifting the focus from, "Why are they doing this to me?" to, "What might be causing this person to behave this way?" Often, people who disrespect others are driven by their own insecurities or frustrations. By acknowledging this, you can approach the situation with compassion rather than anger, and avoid letting their behavior affect your inner peace. Stoicism reminds us that we cannot control others, but we can control how we interpret their actions. Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Practicing empathy allows us to transform moments of disrespect into opportunities for growth. It enables us to respond from a place of calm and understanding, rather than defensiveness or frustration. In summary, empathy is a powerful Stoic tool that allows us to see beyond the surface of disrespectful behavior. By understanding that others often act from a place of insecurity, We can detach from taking things personally and maintain our emotional equilibrium. 5. Concentrate on virtue in Stoicism. Virtue is the highest good and the foundation of moral living. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, described virtue as right reason, meaning that living virtuously requires aligning your actions with rational thought and wisdom. When faced with disrespect, it's easy to let emotions take over. However, Stoicism teaches us to focus on responding to challenges in a way that reflects our core values rather than reacting impulsively or emotionally instead of being swayed by anger or frustration. Stoicism encourages us to concentrate on virtue, qualities such as patience, courage, wisdom, and justice. By doing so, we maintain our integrity and avoid letting negative emotions dictate our behavior. Disrespect from others is an external event, something we cannot control. What we can control, however, is how we choose to respond. Will we react in a way that reflects our virtues? Or will we allow ourselves to be ruled by fleeting emotions living in alignment with your values? Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic Roman emperor, often reflected on the importance of living in harmony with one's values. He wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." In the context of disrespect, this means that instead of wasting energy on reacting emotionally or seeking revenge, we should focus on embodying the virtues we strive for. By choosing a measured, virtuous response, we demonstrate strength and maintain our inner peace, regardless of the external situation. In practice, this may involve responding to disrespect with patience, calmly asserting boundaries, or simply walking away. By concentrating on virtue, you take control of your actions and ensure that your responses align with your principles, fostering personal growth and emotional resilience in the face of adversity. Point 6. Embrace acceptance. One of the core teachings of Epictetus, a prominent Stoic philosopher, is the idea that we can control our own thoughts, actions, and responses, but we cannot control external events or other people's behavior. This Stoic principle, known as the dichotomy of control, emphasizes the importance of focusing on what is within our power and accepting the things that are not. When faced with disrespect, Epictetus would remind us that while we cannot dictate how others treat us, we have complete control over how we choose to respond. Acceptance is not about passive submission or indifference, it's about understanding the limits of your influence. Trying to control or change the behavior of others leads to frustration and disappointment. Instead, Stoicism encourages us to accept that others will act based on their own values, beliefs, and emotions, which are beyond our control. By accepting this reality, we protect our peace of mind and avoid unnecessary emotional turmoil. Focusing on what you can control. The Stoic approach to acceptance is deeply rooted in maintaining inner peace. When you accept that the disrespect you face is outside of your control, you free yourself from the need to react impulsively. Rather than getting entangled in the emotions triggered by others' actions, you can focus on what truly matters: your own thoughts, actions, and virtues. As Epictetus wisely said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." By embracing acceptance, you not only maintain your emotional balance but also grow stronger in the face of adversity. You become less reactive and more grounded in your own values, leading to a life of greater resilience and tranquility. Point 7. Use humor. Seneca, one of the leading Stoic philosophers, understood the profound power that humor can have in difficult situations. He believed that humor could act as a buffer against life's challenges, including moments of disrespect. When faced with situations that would typically trigger anger or frustration, a light-hearted, Humorous response can help diffuse tension and prevent negative emotions from taking over. Humor is not about avoiding the seriousness of a situation but about keeping things in perspective. Seneca taught that we should learn not to take ourselves or others too seriously, especially when we are wronged or disrespected. Instead of reacting emotionally or getting caught up in the heat of the moment, humor offers a way to remain calm and avoid letting disrespect control our mood. The role of humor in Stoicism. In Stoicism, maintaining emotional control is paramount. Humor plays a valuable role in helping us detach from emotional responses and see the bigger picture. By injecting humor into a difficult situation, we can distance ourselves from the immediate emotional impact, giving us the space to respond more wisely. As Seneca once said, "You have mastered yourself when you know what you should not take seriously." By using humor, you master the art of staying composed, even in the face of disrespect. A tool for perspective. Humor reminds us that many of the things we get upset about are minor in the grand scheme of life. When you respond to disrespect with lightheartedness, you show that the situation isn't worth your emotional energy. This not only disarms the other person but also protects your own peace of mind. By using humor wisely, you maintain your dignity and avoid getting drawn into unnecessary conflict. Point 8. Set boundaries. While Stoicism often emphasizes emotional restraint and accepting things beyond our control, it does not encourage passivity in the face of disrespect. Stoicism teaches that we should stand firm in our principles, and part of that involves setting clear boundaries. By establishing these boundaries, you protect your dignity and ensure that others understand the limits of acceptable behavior without resorting to anger or aggression. The importance of boundaries in Stoicism. Boundaries are essential for maintaining your inner peace and self-respect. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." In this context, setting boundaries is a way of controlling your reaction to external events, such as disrespect, and ensuring that your response aligns with your values. It allows you to communicate your needs and expectations clearly without being emotionally reactive, rather than allowing others to mistreat you or undermine your worth. Setting firm boundaries ensures that you take responsibility for how you are treated. How to set Stoic boundaries when someone disrespects you. Instead of reacting with hostility or frustration, calmly assert your boundaries. This is not about retaliating, but about letting others know what behavior is unacceptable. For example, if someone makes a disrespectful remark, you can say something like, "I understand you may have your opinion, but I expect to be treated with respect." This maintains your composure while also making it clear that you won't tolerate mistreatment. Setting boundaries is an act of self-respect, which aligns with Stoicism's focus on virtue and integrity. By setting clear, respectful boundaries, you protect both your emotional well-being and your values. This empowers you to handle disrespect confidently and constructively, preserving your inner tranquility. 9. Choose forgiveness. Forgiveness is a powerful concept in Stoicism, not because it is easy or because it condones wrongdoing, but because it is a path to inner peace. The Stoics, like Seneca and Epictetus, taught that forgiveness is not a favor to the other person but a gift you give yourself. By forgiving someone who has wronged you, you free yourself from the emotional burden of resentment, anger, and frustration. As the Stoic philosophy emphasizes self-mastery and inner tranquility, forgiveness plays a crucial role in maintaining that peace. Forgiveness as a Stoic practice. Epictetus once said, "We suffer not from the events in our lives, but from our judgment about them." Holding on to resentment only prolongs your emotional suffering. By choosing forgiveness, you are actively deciding to release the emotional grip that a negative experience has on you. In the Stoic view, this doesn't mean you have to approve of or forget the wrongdoing. Instead, forgiveness means letting go of the emotional attachment to the event. recognizing that it is outside of your control, and moving forward with a calm, composed mind. Why forgiveness is for you. Not them when you forgive. You are reclaiming control over your emotional state. Harboring anger and resentment can damage your mental and emotional health, keeping you tied to the event and the person who wronged you. Forgiveness allows you to detach from the past and focus on the present, where you can continue to live according to your values. In this way, forgiveness becomes a tool of empowerment. It allows you to maintain your dignity, let go of negativity, and preserve your peace of mind. Ultimately, choosing forgiveness in the Stoic sense is about focusing on what you can control, your thoughts and reactions. By doing so, you free yourself from the emotional turbulence of others' actions and choose a path of resilience and peace. Point 10. Change your perspective. Marcus Aurelius, one of the key figures in Stoicism, famously said, "Our life is what our thoughts make it." This quote reminds us that our mindset and perceptions play a critical role in shaping how we experience life. When it comes to dealing with disrespect, Stoicism encourages us to shift our perspective. Instead of viewing disrespect as a personal attack, it's essential to recognize that it often reflects more about the other person than it does about you. Understanding the source of disrespect can stem from various factors, including the insecurities, frustrations, or misunderstandings of the person who is being disrespectful. When we change our perspective to see that disrespect is usually more about the other person's internal struggles, we can avoid taking it personally. This mental shift allows us to maintain our peace of mind, even in challenging situations. As Marcus Aurelius observed in Meditations, people act based on their own internal frameworks, which may not align with reality or with our values. The power of perspective. Shifting your perspective also means focusing on what you can control. Stoicism teaches that we cannot control other people's behavior or opinions, but we can control our own reactions and thoughts. By choosing to see disrespect as an external event, something that reflects the other person's state of mind rather than your own, you empower yourself to respond calmly and rationally. This perspective prevents you from being dragged into unnecessary emotional conflicts or feeling hurt by the actions of others. Applying this Stoic wisdom when faced with disrespect. Ask yourself, what does this say about the other person's state of mind, rather than about me? This question can help you distance yourself from the situation and maintain your composure. By changing your perspective, you can remain grounded in your own values and virtues, without being swayed by the behavior of others. Part 4. Interactive section. Now that we've explored these Stoic principles, let's make it personal. Take a moment to think about a recent time when someone disrespected you. How did you respond? Could you have applied one of these Stoic principles? Maybe keeping calm, practicing empathy, or setting boundaries. I challenge you to pick one principle and apply it the next time you face disrespect. Let me know in the comments how it goes. Together, we're learning to turn life's challenges into opportunities for growth. Part 5. Case study / real-life example. Marcus Aurelius, one of history's most respected Stoic philosophers and the Roman emperor, serves as a powerful example of how to respond to disrespect with wisdom, grace, and self-control. Throughout his life, he encountered immense challenges, not just from external enemies but from within his own inner circle. Despite his position as the most powerful man in the Roman Empire, Marcus Aurelius consistently chose not to engage in retaliation or bitterness. Instead, he practiced the Stoic principles that he so deeply valued, demonstrating that true strength lies in self-control and resilience rather than in outward displays of power or revenge. The historical context. Marcus Aurelius and his reign. Marcus Aurelius became emperor in 161 AD during a time of intense turmoil for the Roman Empire. His reign was marked by constant warfare, a devastating plague, and political betrayal from people close to him. Even his adopted brother, Lucius Verus, with whom he co-ruled for a time, was a source of tension. Additionally, many members of his Senate and military commanders, driven by their own political ambitions, sought to undermine his authority. Yet, despite these difficulties, Marcus Aurelius remained steadfast in his Stoic ideals. His famous work, Meditations, written in the midst of these personal and professional challenges, provides an intimate glimpse into his thoughts and serves as a guide on how to live with virtue, especially in the face of adversity. In it, he reflects on the nature of human life, the transience of worldly concerns, and the importance of maintaining one's integrity despite the actions of others. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. One of the most famous quotes from Meditations is, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." This phrase encapsulates Marcus Aurelius's approach to dealing with disrespect and mistreatment. He understood that engaging in retaliation or allowing himself to be consumed by anger would only make him similar to those who wronged him. Instead, he believed in maintaining his moral character and staying true to his principles. No matter how others behaved in the modern world, we often face similar challenges, whether in personal relationships, at work, or in social settings. Disrespect, betrayal, and unfair treatment can provoke strong emotional reactions. However, Marcus Aurelius's wisdom encourages us to pause and consider whether responding in kind, by acting out of anger or revenge, truly serves us. Does it elevate us? Or does it diminish us by pulling us down to the same level as those who have wronged us? The Stoic response, self-control and patience. At the heart of Marcus Aurelius's philosophy was the belief that the only things truly within our control are our own thoughts and actions. We cannot control how others treat us, but we can control how we respond to their treatment. For Marcus, this meant that even in the face of insults, treachery, and opposition, he focused on maintaining his sense of virtue and duty. This is evident in how he handled political enemies. Rather than engaging in vindictive actions, he often took a more measured approach, focusing on what was best for the empire and its people rather than seeking personal vengeance. This ability to prioritize the greater good over personal slights is a hallmark of Stoic thinking. In Meditations, he repeatedly reminds himself not to be distracted by the actions of others. He writes, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." By staying rooted in his principles, Marcus Aurelius was able to navigate the complexities of leadership with grace, setting an example for future generations of how to lead with wisdom rather than ego. Applying Marcus Aurelius's mindset in our own lives. So how can we adopt Marcus Aurelius's mindset when faced with disrespect in our own lives? Pause before reacting. When we encounter disrespect, it's natural to want to respond immediately, often with anger or defensiveness. But as Seneca, another prominent Stoic philosopher, advised, whenever you are angry, be assured that it is not only a present evil, but that you have increased a habit. Taking a pause allows us to regain control over our emotions and avoid acting impulsively. In that pause, we can ask ourselves, what would a Stoic do in this situation? Focus on your own virtue, instead of being consumed by the disrespect. Focus on how you can maintain your own integrity. Marcus Aurelius believed that our true power lies in our ability to act in alignment with our values, regardless of how others treat us. By concentrating on virtues like patience, wisdom, and kindness, we ensure that our response reflects who we are, not who others provoke us to be. Shift your perspective. Disrespect often feels deeply personal, but it's important to remember that it usually says more about the other person than it does about you. Marcus Aurelius understood that people's actions are often driven by their own fears, insecurities, and misunderstandings. By adopting this perspective, we can detach from the insult and respond with empathy, or simply let it go. Embrace the bigger picture. Marcus Aurelius frequently reflected on the brevity of life and the insignificance of most human concerns in the grand scheme of things. He would remind himself, "Our life is what our thoughts make it." When faced with disrespect, it can be helpful to remember this. Will this moment of disrespect matter in a year? In 5 years? Or is it just a fleeting encounter that we can choose to let pass? Leading with grace and wisdom. Marcus Aurelius's ability to rise above the personal attacks and political betrayals he faced is a testament to the power of Stoic philosophy. By focusing on self-control, patience, and wisdom, he was able to lead one of the greatest empires in history without succumbing to the petty rivalries and personal vendettas that often accompany positions of power in our own lives. We may not rule an empire, but we do have control over our own minds and actions. By applying the same Stoic principles, we can learn to navigate disrespect with dignity and strength. When someone disrespects us, we can choose not to let their actions define us or dictate our emotions. Instead, we can rise above, knowing that true power comes from maintaining our inner calm and acting in accordance with our values. Conclusion: a Stoic path to resilience. Disrespect is inevitable, but how we handle it defines who we are. Marcus Aurelius's example shows us that the best way to respond is not with retaliation or anger, but with grace, wisdom, and self-control. By embracing the teachings of Stoicism, we can turn moments of disrespect into opportunities for growth and strengthen our character in the process. In the words of Marcus himself, "The best revenge is to be unlike your enemy." Part 6. Summary and takeaways. Disrespect is something we all face, but Stoicism offers a unique set of tools to rise above it with dignity and wisdom. At its core, Stoicism teaches us that while we cannot control others' behavior, we can always control our response. This shift in focus, from external events to internal reactions, empowers us to maintain peace and resilience even when confronted with negativity. One of the key lessons from Stoicism is learning to remain calm in the face of challenges. Disrespect may stir feelings of anger or frustration, but Epictetus reminds us that these emotions are born from our interpretation of events, not the events themselves. By keeping a calm demeanor, you not only protect your peace but also prevent the situation from escalating. Another vital principle is self-reflection. Marcus Aurelius believed that the quality of our thoughts determines the quality of our lives. When you face disrespect, use it as an opportunity to reflect on yourself. Can you learn something from the situation? If so, embrace it. If not, let it go. Practicing empathy is also essential. Stoicism teaches that people often act out of their own insecurities or emotional struggles. By recognizing that someone else's disrespect may be more about their internal turmoil than a reflection of your worth, you can respond with kindness rather than taking things personally. Setting boundaries is another Stoic strategy. Being calm and rational doesn't mean tolerating mistreatment. Establish clear boundaries that protect your dignity without anger or confrontation. In conclusion, Stoicism teaches us to respond thoughtfully to disrespect rather than reacting impulsively. Through principles like staying calm, reflecting, practicing empathy, and setting boundaries, you can transform negative situations into opportunities for growth and personal strength. By focusing on what you can control, your reactions, you will maintain both your dignity and peace of mind. Thank you for making it through this journey of Stoic wisdom. If you found value in these Stoic principles and feel inspired to apply them in your life, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more insights on how ancient wisdom can enhance your daily experiences. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments section below. What's one Stoic principle that resonates most with you? And how do you plan to apply it in your life? Your reflections are a valuable part of this community. And they help us all grow stronger together also. If you know someone who could benefit from a bit of Stoic wisdom, share this video with them. Let's spread the knowledge and help others build resilience and inner peace through these timeless teachings. Thank you for watching. And remember, stay Stoic, stay strong, and keep striving to become the best version of yourself. See you in the next video.